21st Century Pet Health product. You can also find us at 21stcenturypet.com. Get great pet tips to keep up with the latest in all things pet. Tell them Larry sent you. Your pet deserves 21st Century Pet vitamins today. They're your best friends.
Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town.
Welcome back, everybody. That's the voice of the legendary Frank Sinatra. And our favorite windy city out there is Chicago. Guys, on the line right now, we do have Dr. Carl Petrasso. He is now becoming quite a legend here in his own right. We've seen him on numerous interviews on TV, and of course, he joined us on the show a few weeks ago. Dr. Carl Petrasso, the dream interpreter. Hey, doctor, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
Hi, doctor.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, hello.
How are ya?
I'm very good, thank you.
Will Link wants to critique your last episode.
I got a full review. I'll be putting it up on my blog.
Now, Dr. Carl, you've been a real busy guy lately. Of course, a number of TV appearances, of course, the radio appearances. You've been gallivanting all around the country, haven't you?
Just did Windy City Live in Chicago, and we had a great time. They're just a great bunch of folks out there, and we interpreted some dreams, and just had a great time in Chicago.
You know, Dr. Carl, of course, following up with our last interview with you, of course, talking about dreams, there's people that have dreams that, seem to make a lot of sense. When they wake up, they obviously know kind of what the context of the dream was and what they're supposed to get from it. But sometimes you have these really abstract dreams that don't make any sense whatsoever. Are those dreams that deserve some kind of interpretation?
Well, all dreams deserve some kind of interpretation. And in the book Dreaming for Success, which you can get on Amazon.com, I talk about some of the techniques where people have an intuitive sense of what their dream means. But even if you don't have an intuitive sense of what your dream means, every dream that you have is actually your own best advice to yourself, so it's worth knowing.
Very interesting stuff. Yeah, no, I know myself. Earlier in the week, I had a dream where I don't exactly remember the details, but when I woke up, I just had this feeling like I really missed my dad. I really wanted to talk to my dad. He's still living, but I just had this overwhelming feeling of just like sadness and wanting to talk to my father.
That's great, because I've had dreams that I feel that my father is sitting right next to me in my bed.
Yeah, Dr. Carl, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What if you dream that somebody that you know has passed and they're dead, but they're not?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Past and they're dead, you mean the person is alive, but in your dream they've passed on?
Yes.
So that's kind of disconcerting, and you wonder, my God, why did I have a dream about this person being dead and they're alive? Does that mean that they're going to die, that somehow that dream is prophetic?
What about me? I'm married to her.
Well, I think those kinds of dreams really let us know that we need to be getting in touch with the person that we're dreaming about.
Uh-huh.
This has the other the other sense. The first person that was saying when you dream about someone and you dream like you need to connect with them, absolutely. That dream means that person really needs to hear from you, and you can't let that relationship die, and you can't let your connection with that person die. And more than anything, it's a prophetic dream, but what it's really saying is you're the one who needs to be calling that other person, being with them, and finding out what's going on.
That's interesting. Now I have another one to throw at you that I just got from a friend of mine, and she had a dream that this family she knew that had 3 children, it's very sad actually, she had this dream that they went out on a boat and they had the boat, whatever happened, and the whole family passed away. They all died at sea, and the family had not been on a boat for a couple of years because they had a new baby. But before that, they were always going out on their boat. And a year after she had this dream, the exact thing happened.
Well, there are sometimes dreams that are prophetic and that you do need to listen to, and there are ways to tell the difference between those prophetic dreams and those dreams which are, telling you to do something, such as call another person, and that's part of what I talk about in the book. There's also, in this case, the dream was prophetic. Dreams that have to do with water are very powerful dreams, and you should always pay attention to them and try to interpret them. And I was going to say, if this dream had not actually happened, one of the things that a dream symbolically means, where you have people on water and then falling out of the boat and into the water, has to do with people's emotions and letting their emotions get in their way and their emotions causing them conflict with other people. In this case, unfortunately, the dream was prophetic. If you have a strong feeling about a prophetic dream, you should follow that feeling, because all of our dreams connect to life. They're all telling us something that is happening or that is going to happen in our life. And so you have to pay attention to that.
And I know one thing we talked about last time you joined us, Dr. Carl, was some people don't have dreams, or at least they don't remember those dreams. And we discussed some of the reasons why that happens. And can you, for our listeners that weren't able to tune in last time, can you kind of refresh us as to why that happens?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's two kinds of dreams: the dreams that we don't remember and the inability to dream. The inability to dream can actually be caused by some type of brain damage, because dreaming is an activity of the brain that occurs during sleep. And sometime we can talk about sleep and dreaming and getting a good night's sleep and how those two are connected. And I talk about that in the book. Then there is also simply not remembering dreams. And that happens for two reasons. One reason is a dream is really like a movie. There are some movies where you walk out of the movie and you say to yourself, my God, that was a great movie. And you just remember all the key parts of that movie because it was so good. There's other movies that you walk out of the movie and it wasn't very memorable. If your unconscious mind has something to tell you, it's going to tell you that in a dream that's vivid and that you will remember. Sometimes your unconscious mind might not speak to you so strongly, and in those kinds of cases you will forget the dream. Also, forgetting is related to the reasons that we forget anything else. Some of us have good memories and some of us have poor memories. If a person tells me a phone number, I can never remember it. Yet there's other people that you tell a phone number to and they immediately remember that number and can dial it. So those kinds of factors having to do with good memory and bad memory also have a lot to do with remembering and forgetting dreams. Those are the usual reasons. Every once in a while, there's also what we call repression, which is when the dream is so strong and so unpleasant that we really either automatically forget it or choose to forget it. And I say to people, if you have a dream and it's so unpleasant and you really don't want to think about it, then don't think about it, because the unconscious mind is a funny thing. If it really needs to tell you something in that dream, it will send that message to you in a dream that is more acceptable to you.
Wow, amazing. Dr. Carl, hang in there. We're going to go to a break, but we have all the lines are jammed now. There's not one available line. If you don't mind hanging in there, we're going to take some calls from listeners. We got Ryan, Taylor, and Kevin all lined up, ready to talk to you. Gary, our good buddy from Michigan as well. So, Dr. Carl, hang in there. We'll be back, listeners. 800-336-2225 is the call-in number. 800-336-2225 to get your dreams interpreted by Dr. Carl Petrasso. We'll be back right after this.
This is Larry Manetti. It's summertime now, folks. So if you want to go out and play golf or go swimming and you're depressed because of skin disorders, well, I've got the answer. It's called Herpanicin. It cleans your skin from the inside out, gets rid of pimples on your back, your neck, and your face, so you can enjoy the outdoors and feel and look